Hey guys, welcome back to another flashlight review, and tonight we're going to be looking at the Imalent BL50, and this is definitely one sleek, interesting looking light. I've never seen something like this before, and it just looks like it's fallen off the back of an alien spaceship or something like that. Imalent are definitely known, as you guys are aware of, that they just push their lights to the absolute max in terms of that lumen output. And the BL50 is certainly no exception, given how small it is. So let's have a look at what's included. So here is the box that it comes in. Just some basic branding, sort of darker box. Okay, light goes in there, but yeah, basically you get some charging cable here, okay, plus little lanyard. But apart from that, that's all you get. Here is the BL50 compared to the Imalent LD70 here, okay, and these have similar lumen outputs, but the difference is the LD70 runs off an 18350 cell, whereas this one runs off an 18650 cell. So you're really going to get some extra runtime, and there's, just due to the size of the host as well, it's going to be much better dissipating heat. And of course, one of the first flashlights that I owned, getting back into lights again, the Imalent MS03. All right, so a little close up of the BL50, and like I mentioned, I mean, it's got a really unusual design. On one side, it's rounded off there just to accommodate for the battery, and on the other side, it's flattened off here, so a squarish edge. Almost looks like it could be mounted onto a rifle, and there's a lot of interesting details machined into the light. It adds to that futuristic kind of look, even on the button itself, but things like here, just on the sides, the battery tube. Yeah, there's no sharp edges, no imperfections as well on the light. I find the design quite refreshing and interesting compared to those usual tube style lights that you get out there. And the anodizing as well is this sort of matte black anodizing, though it is somewhat slippery. Okay, there's no rough spots, evenly applied. Now the light is operated through two switches. So you've got one switch here, the top of the light, and then you've got this switch here, the back of the light, which is like a tactical style switch. You do have USB-C charging just underneath this rubber port there. Another interesting thing is that you have this OLED display. Okay, it shows you the status of the light, which level you're on as well. Also the battery voltage. That's something that you don't see with almost any light out there. The OLED display is also superior because they save on a lot of power. Only those pixels that are illuminated. The Imalent BL50 takes an 18650 battery, and it's not meant to be user replaceable, but what I found was that there's a couple of screws here just on the end near the tail cap. I undid those screws, see if I could open up the end of the light, but it looks like the head is sort of glued down this area here. There is looks to be some kind of hinge here that you could pop open the top of the light, but yeah, that would require a bit of prying around. I didn't want to go in there and void the warranty, so yeah, but that's just something to keep in mind. Potentially you could replace a battery, but it is not something that is user done. So yeah, you probably have to send it in. So looking under the head of the flashlight, I just want to show you the LEDs, the two LEDs here. So you've got the NexHP 50.3 high, okay, with a smooth reflector. And this is a great config for maximum throw. Okay, I think it's a better alternative a lot of the time in smaller hosts compared to the SFT70. The SFT70 just produces way too much heat, especially in a small host like that. So that XHP 50.1 you know, with that D-domed LED, throwy, lots of light as well. Absolutely perfect for a host, smaller sort of host like this. Also got a 365 nanometer LED here on the top, UV LED, and great that they've included the 365 nanometer one. A lot of these cheapo sort of flashlights out there come with 395 nanometer LEDs, and they just produce too much violet light, visible light, rather than UV light. You do get anti-reflective glass lenses over both LEDs as well, and they are recessed into the bezel, so that's going to help, especially if you drop it, less likely to break that glass and damage the LEDs. So I want to show you the UI, just give you a bit of a rundown on how it works. Now this side switch here, basically the one on top of the light, okay, press it once and it activates moonlight mode. Okay, now if you want to activate the UV mode, just double press, okay, and it just says UV. I found that if I activate the moonlight mode and then double press, I can actually get both on at the same time, the UV mode and the normal LED in there. Might be useful, might not be. The lock and unlock feature can be activated by triple clicking the side switch or the back button. So 1, 2, 3, you see this lock symbol there. Quite useful in your pocket. Make sure you don't activate it. 1, 2, 3, and it unlocks as it says there on the screen. Now, the back button is quite interesting. So you just press that back button once in order to activate the last remembered mode. So last one was, that moonlight mode. Now you can actually just press and hold. And you see it just goes up through the different lumen modes. So that's level 5, 2000 lumens, and then go back to any of the other ones by pressing and holding. Okay, so when you turn off, turn it back on, it remembers that mode. Okay, double press gives you turbo 3600 lumens. If you want to access strobe, you firstly have to get into turbo and then double press again. Alrighty, so I ran a bunch of ceiling bounce tests just to show you how this light performs, and you can see here I've actually got the light on turbo mode, started out 100%, and really impressively it actually lasts past 1 minute, probably about 1 minute 15, 1 minute 30 before it starts stepping down. And so just before the 2 minute mark you can see lights on about 30% outputs. Now I actually tried to reactivate turbo again a number of times, see if it works, and it does. It actually reactivates but automatically starts stepping down. So there is some temperature control module in there, which is good news. I did manage to reactivate it 3 other times before I just stopped, but that's good because sometimes you might need that extra burst of turbo while you're using the light. Here is the BL50 on level 5, so 2000 lumens. Again, the light starts off on 100%, and just after the 2 minute mode, it steps down to about 45% output, which is quite respectable. This is another ceiling bounce test with the BL50 on level 4 mode, so 1200 lumens, and impressively, you can see here it just maintains that 100% mode throughout the duration of the test. I was still able to hold the light, though it did feel quite warm. Ran a bunch of tests on my Opal Lightmaster Pro, and you can see on turbo I got 314 meters of throw, which is definitely below spec. Okay, but I am using a non-professional light meter, so that could be something that's taken into account. Though it was below by quite a bit. I'm interested to see what other reviewers end up getting as well. And you can see the CRI range between 67 to 71. CCT ranged from 5,900 to 6,400K. So some considerations you might want to be aware of. There is something missing on this light, and that's of course the clip. And same sort of deal that I found there with the LD70. Really wish that there was a clip on there. You could definitely force one on there from another line. I don't know how well that it's going to be able to hold on there, but yeah, it would have been nice if it had just one of those screw-in clips there on the side, just so I could pocket it a lot more easily. Another thing to be aware of is, although this light is marketed as a tactical flashlight, there is no momentary modes. So you press and hold that end switch. You know, often you have a 2-stage switch, half press for momentary turbo and full press to either activate it completely or get into strobe. In case there's nothing like that there, you kind of have to double press the turbo. I do still really like the addition of the back switch, though. I find this way of holding it's quite natural and feels more comfortable. Overall, the Imalent BL50 is a unique looking flashlight, but still manages to remain practical, and it looks and feels like it's from a science fiction movie or something. And that 18650 cell in the light, that is something I think makes it a realistic option for sustained output carrying around on longer trips, especially if you're using those lower modes, and do get some impressive throw with this LED, that XHP 50.3 high in there. The fact that you have that UV light as well, I think that would come in handy if you're traveling, checking for stains, checking documents as well, if you're working in law enforcement and security. So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know down in the comments and I'll get back to you. Surely I've missed out on something here or there. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and click the like button. It helps me to get my videos out to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and keep up to date with the latest flashlight news, make sure you subscribe. All right, I've got the Imalent BL50 and let's go straight to turbo. Wow. That's a lot of light. Serious amount of light. And look at that hotspot. Gigantic hotspot. Uniform as well in terms of light distribution. Go on to the other modes. So that's the first step. There's 5 different steps plus turbo. Second, third step, which is 600. See, 600 lumens. This is more than enough for walking around at night. I'd say even the second is enough, really. Fourth, 1200 lumens. Fifth mode, 2000 lumens. Okay, and then you've got turbo here. Look at that, just blowing the camera out near the front. Okay, but say if I have it just in the second mode here, just 200, 200 lumens. You do see the spot beam is a lot more predominant, but there's a significant amount of spill as well, which is great. With smooth reflectors like this, sometimes they can be a bit limiting, but a fair bit of spill, about probably another 5 or 6 feet in front of me. Okay, I will go for a little walk just to show you the beam pattern. Imalent BL50, some long range shots, and this is turbo, and you can see here it's really lighting up huge area near this river. You can even see into the river quite well from this distance, but there's a few rocks here at the back that it's lighting up. All the way to the bank, and it's definitely getting a bit warm. The light, this is on turbo. I'll put it down onto some of the lower modes, so I've got just 600 lumens, 1200, 2000, 200, 600 lumens, 1200, 2000 lumens. The 2000 lumen mode is already really good, but it's good to have that turbo, as you can see here, just for that extra burst of power where you need it. And just going to look under this bridge here as well, turbo, and you can see very easily just spotting anything underneath that bridge on the right hand side as well. Okay, power line up to the left hand side.